So you can see this screw, okay? See the screw right there. I can unscrew that in or out, okay? Let's get you set up right here. Let's see what happens. Which means I want to push this edge that way, okay? I want to unscrew this. I'm going to either tighten it or unscrew it. Now see, as I'm going that way, I can see that this is coming towards me. That would make it worse, okay? So I have to unscrew it all the way. And it is unscrewed all the way, that way as far as it can go, okay? So that's my first step. Now I know that the bottom hinge can be messed with too, but the first thing I'm going to do is first close the door, okay? It's still about the same as where it was before, which then tells me that I'm hoping that this door can go that direction, okay? So I'm going to take this, and I've got the same little set screw here, and I'm hoping that when I tighten that, man, it's loose almost all the way as it is. Look at that. See there? Look at all that flop like that. And it kind of looks like maybe it's not snapped in properly. Oh no. This bottom one looks a lot better. I'm gonna have to look at that because see, as I can push, I can see that I can push the whole hinge over without making any adjustment. So I may have to tweak that a little bit in a different direction. Now I look at the door and I got a bigger gap at the bottom, so I can pull the door that way to the right, and that'll lift the top up. I can take the adjustment screw there. I'm tightening it up and it's pulling the door this direction, okay? And that's helping to lift that up. And I see that I'm gonna have to mess with that. I'm gonna end up having to do some extra work with this. See how springy that is? It's not supposed to be like that. Look at the you seen that? See how much I can push the door over? If I could keep the door over that far, that's raising this up. If I had that right like that, this door would close without even hitting. If I kept pressure up like that, see? Almost. But see how much slop it has in it? It's got way too much slop. You're not supposed to have that after you get these adjusted. Look at this bottom hinge. You got the bottom hinge, there's no slop on it at all. That tells me, I'm thinking this isn't snapped in properly. And so I'm going to end up I'm going to undo this hinge all the way. And some of these come off different than others. There's another screw there. I'm going to have to take that off, and I'm going to have to mess with that. That's what it looks like I am going to have to do in order to try to make this fixable. No matter what you do on there, all of your hinges are like that. You can play with this for a half hour or so if you want. Usually I can get these adjusted. If everything's set up properly, I can get something like this adjusted in maybe 5 minutes or less. I'm going to have to work on this one a little bit more, aren't I? Because this is an old cabinet, the floor could have settled. It could have thrown this side of the cabinet, the right-hand side of the cabinet down, the left-hand side of the cabinet down. It could do anything to where after I make all the adjustments, maybe I can't get it perfect. Okay? That's something else I may have to look at. Okay? But while I'm thinking about that, I'm just going to look at this bottom one and see if I can't do something with this one here. Okay, push that as far back that way, and now I tighten that, and that pulls this side out a little bit. Now I can try doing the same thing with this hinge, this right hand hinge, same type of deal. Okay. I'm looking at that. Here, let's move the camera so I can get the door closed after I get done. Look at this again. Looks like this side needs to go that way. Okay. I'm going to take that one screw, and man, I had it adjusted just barely. Okay, see, it's hardly hitting at all right there. And now, to get this over further, I've got a gap here, I can pull the right hand side, push that this way. That's going to raise this up a little bit more. That's going to make the gap bigger there, and it's going to make it smaller there. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to do it towards me. I'm tightening it, and that hinge is actually pulling over to the left. And see, it's almost perfect, but now I may have to take this all the way over, or take this, both of them, all the way that way. I've got it like there's no gap in here at all. Okay, see, I almost have that. But your hinges, there's only so much room you have. You know what I mean? That one's adjusted. This door here is adjusted all the way that way. I can't get it any further. That one I can go back just a hair. Okay. I'm going to look at this a little bit more. See, I've got this adjusted out all the way, and it's hitting the edge. I can't get this door over any further. Actually, it goes a little bit, and if these hinges are old, it might have a little bit of a slop in where the hinge bit is, right in here on the concealed part. And if you get another one of these that's perfect, brand new, that fits this exact location, it might adjust better than this old one because it's not worn out. Okay, you see there? I got the bottom taken care of. Kaboom! I don't have much gap in here, do I? But I've got just enough. And the doors are lined up pretty good. Let's see, if this hinge over here didn't have any slop in it, I could push it up further, and that's perfect. But it's folded down a little bit because this is an old hinge, probably 20 years old. I'm guessing that hinge is 20 years old. It's all rusty, and it's just wearing right in there and right there. See that? I mean, it's a little loose, so might have to take the, if I really want to spend extra time on it, I can take those screws out, try to tighten it up more, and get that pushed over. Because see how it's flexing right there a little bit? All it needs is that much flex, and then this door has plenty of gap. Okay? It has plenty of gap then. Man, get this back out here. But for the time being, I got those two doors, way better than they were before. Okay. Obviously, these top ones, I'm gonna have more work, but basically that top is gonna work the same way, because see how much flex there is there? Look at that. And if it was up like that, then obviously I would have to then adjust the rest of the door right here. I'd have to go back that way. That would give me plenty of gap there. And if I pull that door where it's supposed to be, and then if I readjust that, I would have plenty of room. See? That's because this hinge on the left is a bad hinge. Yeah, okay. Well, I hope you get the idea on how these adjustable concealed door hinges work. Well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos.